3 for 3. 3 for 3. They've been knocking this out of the park. It's fantastic. They've done such a great job with this Elite storyline. But all right, so we're at the end of the show. Basically, this is where I give my thoughts, chop it up. It's going on YouTube, all that good stuff. Basically, there was a lot of talk about this episode. Card came out early. Everybody was like, this is not going to be good. It ended up being, I think, a very solid, very, very good show. A lot of good stuff on there. The main event between Brody King and Adam Copeland was a bloody bath. The one surprising thing out of everything, out of all of that, was Harley Cameron and Mariah May. Like I said, we all knew Mariah May was a fantastic wrestler. You know, she comes from Stardom. You know, she can get it done. Harley Cameron was a little bit of an unknown. I know personally she's very, very funny. She's hysterical. But I'd never really seen her in the ring. This was her AEW Dynamite in-ring debut. She knocked it out of the park. She didn't look lost, out of step, anything like that. The stuff with Swerve and Christian Cage, like I said earlier, I'm a little surprised that they have Swerve taking ass beating back-to-back weeks, just a month into his title reign. But again, we still got about 2 weeks away from Double or Nothing. So as Gigi Anubis said in the chat, they could be going in a direction where they're trying to really build him up after catching 2 ass whoopings in 2 weeks, you know, so that's not cool. It's also not cool that the Mogul Embassy kind of turned on him. Is the patriarchy going to absorb the Mogul Embassy? Because then you kind of have to have something going on with the Mogul Embassy, or else it's just like, okay, they were hired to do this job, and then you know, we just throw them by the wayside. Or that might make sense because, again, this was all set up by the EVPs. So, you know, they had a hand in all of this happening. So, again, it's an interesting setup for the World Heavyweight Champion in his first pay-per-view title defense. Good to see that they're building up Samoa Joe back. And, again, the EVP stuff. It started out with the beatdown of Tony Khan. That was a home run. Then they beat down Kenny Omega. That's a home run. They announced that there's going to be an Anarchy in the Arena match. It's going to be the Elite versus Team AEW. We hear that FTR is going to be a part of that match, and we're all thinking, because there was a lot of rumblings, Motor City Machine Guns is coming. Motor City Machine Guns is coming. So I, like everyone else probably, thought it was going to be the Motor City Machine Guns. Happens to be 2 singles wrestlers and not a tag team, one being Eddie Kingston, which you all know is one of my favorites, and then this is very surprising, Bryan Danielson, a man that doesn't really get along with Eddie. Well, no, I'm mistaken. They kind of patched things up after they had that match, so this is kind of interesting. Can they still coexist in a team setting now that they're cool after they had the battle? Because again, the whole makeup, even though Kingston is not in the Blackpool Combat Club, is if you battle me, if we have a battle in the ring, we make each other bleed, it's hard hitting, you know, you're as Blackpool Combat Club as anybody else. You know, that's one of the prerequisites basically of getting into the Blackpool Combat Club. So again, it was a big surprise. Eddie Kingston, Bryan Danielson. Anarchy in the Arena is probably going to be a lot of fun. They always knock it out of the park when it comes to that. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. Again, the internet was like, oh, this episode of Dynamite is going to be a stinker. You know, it's not going to be fun. But it ended up actually being a pretty solid show, an easy 2 hours to get through. So I'm actually very excited, you know, excited to see what's going on after, you know, Dynamite is over. There are going to be some spill-offs that we might see online, and it gets me excited for next week, which is the whole point. I always said the best way to do things if you're a wrestling program is you want to keep them on the edge of their seat. You know, you want to keep them wanting more, and then when the show ends, you're like, fuck, what do you mean I got to wait a whole 7 days to see what happens, you know, in this story, how this story progressed. With the brawl to end the show after we just got the announcement that Danielson and Kingston are teaming up with FTR to take on the Elite, Anarchy in the Arena at Double or Nothing in Vegas in May. We're already in May, obviously. May 26th, I believe it is. Uh, just good stuff. Again, good stuff all around from AEW. Great show. Loved it very, very much.